everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of maintenance on my car, just some standard stuff, and I thought I'd bring you along as well to show you guys how to actually clean out your air filter in your car. Now of course the one in my car here is an aftermarket Mishimoto Short Ram Intake, but this method is going to work for even your standard air filter like on the stock one in your car. So in a second here, I'll put you guys on the tripod and I'll show you guys how to remove this particular filter and then how to clean it and get it all looking nice and performing better in the vehicle. And so really all you're going to need to remove the top piece is a little hex key. I don't remember off the top of my head what size that is, but it's not a very big one. If I remember, I'll post it on screen somewhere. But you see a little hex key. There's I think 4 or 5 bolts around the top that needs to come out, and then that's how you get the filter out. And then to clean and then make the filter look nice again, we have our filter cleaning kit here from K&N. So this is a red air filter in there, which I will show as soon as the filter is out. But so here we just have the air filter cleaner on this side. It's just a spray-in cleaner, and then we have the oil on here as well. I'll explain what this does a little bit later, but that's everything that we're going to need today to be able to clean the filter. So hopefully you can see all right from this angle, just to see what I'm doing here. Again, I'm just using the hex key to take the bolts off. So of course, righty tighty, lefty loosey. And I do apologize if there's a lot of background noise or wind noise. Again, I am outside. It's a bit windy and there's other stuff going on in the neighborhood. But yeah, essentially all you want to do is take off all 4 of your bolts here. So there's one on, I guess, the outside driver's side. There is 2 on the, I guess, the more passenger side of here. I'm not going to bore you on camera taking out every single bolt, but then also, so you see here we have our airflow sensor. Now you would think you might have to completely unscrew the entire thing, but no, don't worry. All you got to do for the interim is just unclip it here, assuming that it wants to come off. Okay, I'm struggling to do it with one hand while holding the camera, but essentially you just unclip it from here. That just piece just slides off, and then there's another little connector here which can kind of just sit in the lid on here, and we'll just kind of set the entire thing just kind of up on the battery once we're done taking everything off. So let me bring it a little closer here so you can see. So here's the lid. I can see there's a little push clip. Again, not really necessary unless you do want to, I guess, properly clean the lid, which I think I might give it a wipe afterwards. But yeah, we can just set it there. Kind of out of the way for a moment, and then if we come in closer here, I forgot to mention we also need just a flathead screwdriver, because we have this sort of ring clip here that just holds the filter onto the rest of the piping. So just get in there with the screwdriver. You don't have to loosen it too much, just loosen it enough that you can kind of wiggle the filter off like so, and then there we can see our filter. So hopefully you guys can see there. I mean, the filter is doing its job, but you can see there's all kinds of dirt and fluff and who knows, leaves and all sorts. So the filter is doing its job, and that none of these sticks and stuff are making its way into the engine bay. We definitely want to clean this out so that we can keep our filter working as efficiently as possible. And also, if you go to a car show or something, you open up your engine bay, you want a nice looking filter in there. Now, one other thing you could get for this is which I might be actually doing later on this year, I'll see, but they do kind of make a filter cover or a sock of sorts, if you will, that goes over, and it just adds an extra layer of protection. So basically all of this dirt and stuff kind of hits the sock, and then you can just take that off, rinse that out. I think some of them are even machine washable. Let's go ahead and rinse that out, and then your filter will be looking even better. It's just basically like an extra layer of protection. But anyways, for right now, we're just going to go ahead and I'll show you guys how to clean out the actual filter here. Also, guys, one side note, also too, when we're cleaning our filter, we also want to clean out the actual air box. As you can see there, just from general driving and stuff, there's some dust in there, and then, we don't want that to obviously get sucked up later, and we want our entire area to be as clean as possible. So I'll go ahead and we'll wipe this out as well. So actually cleaning out the filter is pretty simple. All we're basically going to need is a hose or some water, and then our little cleaning kit over there. So I'm just going to go over here a little bit so I don't spray the car or spray the camera and get you guys. But basically all you want to do is get your hose initially, So basically, you want to take your hose, stick it inside the filter first, just kind of turn it on, and let the water run out. That's going to obviously help push things out from the inside, and then we can go ahead and spray the outside a little bit. Just get that first kind of cleaning in, and then we'll go ahead and we'll spray it all down, let the soap sit on there for a moment or two, and then we can rinse the whole thing down. Okay, so once we've given our filter the initial spray out, you can hopefully see there is removed a good amount of the sticks and all the dirt and everything. So now, like I said, we're just going to go ahead and use our filter cleaner just to make sure we get everything nice and tidy. So nothing really that complicated to it. Just take your spray and spray it around while you're turning the filter. You don't need to use a huge amount of this. Just kind of make sure you spray all around. And then I'm just going to let it soak in for about a minute. I'm going to spray on the inside as well, like so. There, that's all you need, just a few sprays. Then we're just going to let that sit and soak in and let it do its job. Then we'll rinse it out one more time. So it's been about a minute and a half for me. Obviously just a couple seconds for you guys. So again, we've sprayed it down. So now we're going to go ahead. Don't need a huge amount of water pressure. Just get in there, make sure you rinse it all down. I don't know if you can see on camera, but you're gonna see, you can see the dirt coming out of there, and you can see there's kind of like a white liquid. That's just the soap rinsing out. So that's good. You want to see that. Yeah, here I don't know if you guys can see the color of the water there, but the fact that it's a little bit gray and not so nice looking means it's working. That means we're cleaning out the filter. So it's gonna go ahead. Completely rinse that down. Basically, you want to rinse it. You want to rinse out the filter until your water basically runs clear, and then you know you're clean, clear. All the soap, all the dirt, and everything is out of the filter. Okay, so there we go. Just a couple minutes, our filter is all nice and cleaned out. I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but I can see there's no more dust or debris or anything on there, which is good. It's what we want. The water was running clear. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the water was running clear. Out of here, you can see there's no dirt or anything on the inside. Something you want to check. And then now the only thing left to do at this point is just let your filter dry. Now I like to just let mine sit out and air dry naturally. I guess if you have an air vent or something, you can put it on. I don't know. I guess if you have like an air gun or something, you can maybe spray that to get some more water out of there. But I've always just let mine kind of sit and air dry. Every so often I might pop it inside and put it on an air vent. But yeah, now I'm just going to let it dry. It's probably going to take about an hour or so for it to dry off, and then we can reinstall it into the car. And then of course the other part I said we gotta clean is just give a wipe out of the air box. So I just have a damp cloth here, and I'm not gonna try to make this look super pretty, because let's be honest, you're not really gonna see inside the air box all that much. But again, you just want to kind of wipe up all the dust and debris that sat in here so that it doesn't get sucked into your filter or sucked into somewhere else that you want, and you know, it just makes everything look a little bit nicer. Now I typically clean out my air filter usually about twice a year. I'll usually do it once in the springtime around this time, and once in the fall, kind of just before the winter. So again, don't have to be too pretty, just kind of get in there, make it look all nice, make sure there's no dirt rolling around. I always give a little wipe of just kind of the edge of the air box where the filter is going to sit, just so it has a nice and tighter seal. And then while we're in here, we can just go ahead and give some other parts of the engine a little bit of a wipe down. I'm not going to bother doing the whole clean, because obviously I drive the car pretty much every day. But just go ahead and give it a nice little wipe. Make it look a little bit more presentable, not so dusty after the long winter. And there we go. So it's been a little over an hour since the last clip when I put my filter down to dry. So you can tell if you give it a little bit of a shake, no water is coming out of it. That means it's dry, obviously, to the touch. So well, you can feel it's dry. So I just have a cloth here, just going to dry off the last little plastic bits and just kind of around the clip, just to make sure there's no water in there, so everything goes back together nicely. And one thing I do want to mention, or correct myself on, is that earlier in the video I said that you can put this over like a vent or something to dry out. You don't want to put it over anything hot, because the excess heat can maybe kind of either melt the plastic or kind of dry out the the mesh too much and even shrink it, and then your filter could maybe crack or not work properly. So yeah, best bet is just to let it dry naturally. Usually I'll leave it outside. Earlier it was raining a bit, so I don't want to leave it outside. Kind of defeats the purpose, but if you have a nice sunny day, put it in a nice sunny spot somewhere outside, or bring it inside somewhere where it can get air all around it and dry. But yeah, so the only last thing to do here is we want to put our air filter oil onto our filter. Now basically all this does is it kind of gives a positive charge to the mesh around here, and it just helps to attract all the dust and debris to the filter, so that your engine can still work properly, and then you don't get so much all around. So that's basically all it does. There are other systems where it's a dry filter, and then that's one of the places where that sock that I mentioned earlier might come in handy just to help keep some more dust and debris out. But basically all we do here, we don't need a huge amount, so basically all we're going to do here is just take our spray, obviously spray it away from you. So just take our spray, and we want to just gently, lightly spray it on as we rotate the filter. Again, you don't want to over soak this. Basically, once you see your filter becomes red again, you're good to go. So you can see I'm just giving it quick little bursts. I'm not holding it on. Here we go, guys. In just a couple seconds in real time. Hopefully you guys can see here how the filter has a nice red color as per before. Well, it's just gray as standard, and then the red comes from obviously the spray that we put on there. So I'm just going to go over a couple more spots. And I should mention, you do only also want to just spray on the outside. You never want to spray from the inside. So you can see there, it's got a nice red color. There's a little bit of oil still on there. That's just going to dry on there, no problem. Just like that, we're ready to reinstall. I should mention, the filter is ready to reinstall. You do want to let it sit and just dry for just a minute or two, just so that some oil doesn't drip into the airbox or anything, and just kind of let it all set in. But basically, once you spray it, just set it down, let it sit for about a minute. Usually, if you have your engine closed, by the time you set the filter down, you open back up the engine, get everything ready, your filter is going to be good to go. And basically, now that our filter has been cleaned, rinsed, obviously re-oiled, all ready to go, all we need to do is reverse process from before. So line up your filter with the piping, and take your flathead screwdriver and tighten up that clip, which is taking a second if you have some oily fingers. There. Obviously make sure everything is tightened up and your filter is not going to go anywhere on you, because that's the last thing you want when you're driving. So then once your filter is in, we're just going to go ahead and close, in this case, close the lid of the box, bolt everything back up, and we're good to go. And again, don't forget, you also want to make sure you reconnect your mass airflow sensor there. That is kind of important, so the car doesn't freak out. And then yeah, just go ahead, line up all your screws here. We're just gonna hand tighten them to start. Then we'll get our hex key, button everything up, and we will be good to go. So yeah, everyone, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up everything just off camera. Basically, I've already showed you the process of how to take everything apart. Obviously, just go ahead and reverse it. Make sure everything's buttoned up, tight, good to go. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I need to also check and potentially change out the cabin air filter as well in this car. So if I haven't already, I don't remember. If I haven't already made a video, I'll make a video showing you guys how to do that, showing you where it is on the Civic. It's really simple. You guys can change it yourself at home. So I'll show you how to do that in an upcoming video. As for that, I have some other cool stuff. Well, I have some other stuff coming up soon. Hopefully it's cool. I will be going on vacation in a couple of weeks. More on that soon, but I will be going on vacation, so stay tuned for lots of videos from that as well. But yeah, let me not ramble on too long. That's how you change your engine air filter. Specifically, I have the Mishimoto Short Ram Intake in this, but this method is pretty much going to be across for any type of filter. Just remember that I specifically do also have the red air oil filter, so I had to spray the oil on it. There are different red air filters as well, and there are some ones that are dry systems, so you don't have to spray any oil on them. So just before you do, make sure that you do check which one you have. But in terms of the removal and cleaning process, I think most filters are going to be roughly the same, so that should be fairly easy for you guys to follow along to do at home. But yeah, let me not ramble on too much longer here. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel for all that I have coming in future. Go give me a follow on Instagram as well to see when I post stuff, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.